Hey guys, Samar here for socialproofimage.com, and I have Austin with me, and we're going to be talking about ouds. Exciting.
Yeah, so you and I are both big fans of oud clones and oud fragrances.
Yes, we love ouds.
And we've tried a bunch of them,
Yeah.
and we like some more than others.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to discuss that and discuss some of the differences and what makes them interesting. I thought we'd start the conversation with YSL's M7 Oud Absolu.
Sure.
Right? So here's the thing. So this was actually the one that started it all.
Yeah.
Now, oud's been, it's fantastic. Oud's been used in, Eastern perfumes, Middle Eastern perfumes for centuries. And not really so much in the West.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of an acquired taste and wasn't really introduced to Western noses at large until the designer Yves Saint Laurent came out with this one called Oud Absolu M7. And this is like 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
And so Tom Ford was actually, he's the one who did this. Yeah, he was working for YSL. So yeah, what did you hear about what happened?
I did. Did you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so what I heard was that when he came out with it, it was so weird for the other designers in the YSL house that they were just like, this is too off-putting, it's too weird, nobody's ever gonna, people in the West, this is not their style. So it didn't go over so well.
No.
So he ended up leaving YSL and starting his own fragrance, his own designer house, right, which everyone now knows, and came out with Oud Wood 3 years later, 2008 I think it was.
Which is fantastic. So, out of all of the oud fragrances I have ever smelt in my entire life, Oud Wood has the most prominent top note, I think, out of all ouds. It's got a very, very strong first impression.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I actually smelt this and I was like blown away.
Yeah.
It completely changed my entire perception of what fragrances can be.
Mm-hmm.
So it was obviously Oud Wood, and it transitioned into other ouds. Gucci Intense Oud is sort of the end game that I reached in terms of all the different stages of oud.
I feel the same way. Yeah. I feel that's kind of the epitome, because now ouds have been oud clones have been around now since about 2000, the mid 2000s, and yeah, I feel I agree with you. It kind of I think it really reaches its climax in Gucci Oud, because it's kind of a really strong compared to this. Like there's hardly any oud in this.
Yeah.
It's just there in the background.
Yeah.
It's very subtle.
Yes.
And now that people got used to that scent, that note, Gucci was able to come up with something like this, Intense Oud. Yeah. Which is really, it is intense.
I think what I also admire and appreciate a lot about the oud fragrances, it's interesting because a lot of them have this unique, it kind of brings you to a period in time in history that you don't really get with other fragrances. Like when you smell an oud fragrance, it's like you're transported to like Turkey.
Totally.
Like you're in the streets in like the 1500s.
Yeah.
And I think that's what really adds to the overall mystique and aura of the oud fragrance.
For sure, yeah.
And that's why I'm just so passionate about it. I love it so much.
No, it's great. I love it. And I feel like this is one of those Dolce & Gabbana is the one.
Yeah.
This was a limited edition Dolce & Gabbana one called Royal Night. I think it's called Royal Night, and it's it kind of epitomized that synthesis between West and East.
East and West.
Yeah. So it's got it's basically Dolce & Gabbana the one, but with a hint of oud and rose. It's got that Middle Eastern smell to it.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of jasmine, rose, kind of that Turkish rose.
Yeah, and so this isn't really an oud scent per se, but it has that oud mystique to it. Yeah. And so I think it was good to include it in the discussion.
I think when you're being introduced to oud, I would recommend this one. It's a good first kind of diving head deep into the world of oud. I think this is a really good intro.
Oh, absolutely.
To the oud, the oud family.
I agree with you. Yeah. So after Tom Ford's Oud Wood comes out 2000, as you said, not only with you but with many people, it was a game changer. It really brought oud into the mainstream. And then everybody and their uncle came out with another oud scent, right? So you have all the big designer houses. You have Acqua di Parma coming out with oud. You have Creed coming out with Royal Oud. Yeah, so we just tried that one today for the first time.
You have the niche fragrances as well.
Yeah.
Oud for Greatness and Oud Satin Mood as well.
And that's one of the most those are two of the most recent
ones.
Those
are two of the most recent
They
ones,
just came out in the last few years. So MFK, Maison François Caradegien, came out with Oud Satin Mood, which is one of your favorites.
Actually, yeah, it's one of my favorites. I really enjoy it. The top notes are wonderful. The dry down is wonderful. It's got a very floral dry down. And at the very end of it, you can it's got hints of the oud.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a strong oud fragrance like Gucci Intense Oud, but the oud is there, and you feel it, you smell it more in the dry down.
Yeah, and I noticed in the notes it says here, violet is the top note on this, and then it's got Laotian oud. So it's it's oud from Laos, which I guess is more Southeast Asia.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the same as that Middle Eastern oud, but it's very similar. And then it's got a lot of rose. It's got Bulgarian rose and Turkish rose. Mm-hmm. So it has some really nice, light, sweet floral notes as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Let's talk about another Tom Ford oud fragrance that I particularly enjoy. And that's Oud Fleur.
Yeah, so Tom Ford came out with two other oud flankers.
Yeah.
After the original Oud Wood, he's got Tobacco Oud.
Yes, Tobacco Oud.
Which was your like signature scent for a while.
It was my signature scent for a while, and then I sort of graduated and transitioned to Oud Fleur.
Yes.
Which I thoroughly enjoy. Oud Fleur, it doesn't have a strong oud presence. It's got a more of a florally presence as a dry down, and I like the combination between the two.
Yeah.
It's a really well blended fragrance, as all Tom Ford fragrances are.
They are, yeah. I love that. So of all the oud woods all the oud colognes that Tom Ford's come with, I gotta say, like, the original is still my favorite.
Yeah.
Oud Wood, that's still my go-to signature scent.
Yeah.
There's something about the blending of this. It's the spiciness and everything, and but I appreciate Fleur and Tobacco Oud as well. Mm-hmm. Tobacco Oud, Fleur for me is a little on the unisex side. Mm-hmm. I feel, but Tobacco is really more of a very masculine.
Yeah. Because
of the tobacco base note. So I appreciate both. I appreciate all three of them. I think they're really good takes, different takes on that oud variation.
So that's the one interesting thing about oud is it has been combined with so many different base notes. Mm-hmm. It's so many different. You have your floral, you have the sweet. Yeah. So there's something for everybody. Guys, listen. Everybody, listen. If you think oud is a bit too intense, give some of our suggestions that we're talking about today. Give them a try. They're good for people who are too apprehensive about jumping into oud, especially the Oud Fleurs. A lot of the Tom Ford fragrances are more on the safer oud side. So give them a try. I think you'll thoroughly enjoy them.
I think M7 really just has a hint of oud. I think it's one of the safest oud ones. Mm-hmm. People enjoy that because it's not all about the oud in M7.
Yeah.
M7 is just like oud is just part of the show in that one. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a good way to introduce people to it. Definitely, if you're new to oud, you don't want to go for Intense Oud. No. That's a lot of oud.
Gucci Intense Oud is probably where you want to end up at.
Exactly.
It's like
that's where we've ended up.
It's a lifelong journey, and when you come and you've understood the meaning of life, it's Gucci Intense Oud.
I like the way you put that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.